In this video, I'm going to show you 5 easy ways to improve your graphic design. Let's go. So before we get started, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, hacks, tutorials, and other design inspiration videos, then make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell to get notified every time that I post a new video. So let's get straight into the 5 things that I think you can do to improve your graphic design. Number 1 is focus on your message. Now, I've said this a few times on my videos of choosing message over aesthetics, but what that really means is, as graphic design is just problem solving, we're taking information and we're turning that into something that's as easy to consume as possible. So when you create something, try to focus more about what you're actually saying through the design instead of what the design looks like. The chances are, if you've been commissioned to make a design, you're actually trying to communicate something. So whether that's an event you're promoting or whether that's an album artwork you're trying to create, there is a message behind that design that you have to try and get out there. So when you start to ask yourself that question of what is this trying to say instead of what is this trying to look like, it really does help narrow down what the font choices should be, where the text should be placed on that graphic. You start to create things based on how people are going to read it, how people are going to digest that information, instead of just what looks cool and what looks pretty. So next time that you've got Photoshop or Illustrator open, look at the document you're working on and ask yourself the question, is this communicating something, and what is that message? Number 2 is know your audience. Now, this is a huge part of graphic design because you need to be thinking about who's going to be looking at that design, who's going to be holding that print, who's going to be scrolling through that website. You need to understand who that is and how old they are and what their demographic is so that you can communicate as best as possible. So when you're creating something for, say, an elderly care home or an assisted living home, something like that, you're not going to create something that looks like a 90s rave poster. That's for kind of like 18s to 30-year-olds. You're going to create something that makes sense, that's easy to read, that's clean, that's minimal and simple, because that fits the audience that are looking at this kind of stuff. So similar to the first point, next time you're on Photoshop or Illustrator and you're designing something, ask yourself the question, does this design resonate with the people I'm trying to reach? Now, number 3 is less is more. Now, there are going to be times where you're going to throw a ton of assets at something and it's going to look sick, but most of the time, try and strip back on things and keep it simple. You've probably heard that phrase, keep it simple, stupid. We'll try to employ that in every design that you do. Good design isn't dependent on how much stuff you can cram into that one piece. So when you're designing, try and squeeze down all the information, all of the copy, all of the imagery, and try and get the most concentrated version of it. Instead of focusing on what could go in the design, focus on what needs to be in the design. Number 4 is this, try new ideas. The only way you're going to get better as a designer is if you keep pushing yourself and developing new creative skills. There's probably a design style that you're most comfortable with, but let me encourage you to push yourself outside of that comfort zone, to learn new things, develop new skills, and to try new ideas. And also, don't allow the fear of doing something wrong control how you create. We're all going to get stuff wrong, we're all going to mess up sometimes, so you may as well try it, and if it works, great, and if it doesn't, you're going to learn from it. And number 5 is express yourself. Now, we've all had times where clients have wanted a design in a particular way. Maybe they've sent you a screenshot and asked you to just copy this and change the text. But your best designs will come from things that you're passionate about and things that represent you as a person and show your creativity. When you let your unique skills and giftings flow through you into your designs, that's when you're going to create some of your best work. My advice to you is to create things that you're passionate about. They say that you never work a day in your life if you love what you do. And for the most part, especially in design, that's true. And you might be watching this right now thinking, Ruben, I have a good job, I have good perks, I have good income, and I don't want to give that up, but I'm not entirely passionate about it. And that's okay, because there are loads of things that you can do while keeping your job that you can be passionate about. You could either find a side hustle to work on that, to earn an income and do things you enjoy, or you could just create purely for the joy of creating and have like an art studio or an Instagram or something where you put your work out there. My advice though is do something you are passionate about. Don't just work in the job creating stuff that you don't enjoy. Find a way to express yourself, be passionate and motivated about something, whether that's in the workplace or outside of the workplace. Take the opportunities that you're passionate about and that fuel your creativity. So there we have it. Those are 5 things that you can do right now to improve your graphic design. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you think I've missed, and I'll read through those and maybe I'll do another 5 tips in the future. And another way that you can step up your design game is by checking out Toolkit. It's an amazing resource for creatives with a ton of creative assets, design assets, video assets, fonts, and much, much more, all at a really reasonable price. So go and take a look at toolkit.com and maybe you'll pick up something that you can use in your design today. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure you leave a like. It really does go a long way to helping this channel, and consider subscribing for plenty more videos like this to come. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.